Hey, what's going on, guys? Archer Mark here, and I'm really excited. Really excited. First of all, it's nice to be back after almost a week of being without power and being away from the YouTube. It's nice to be back. It's good to be in front of the camera again. Um, but anyway, all that aside, I'm not going to go into that. All that aside, the reason I'm really excited now. It's been a few days. I'm sure you all know by now the huge announcement that has been made that Disney has bought Lucasfilm. Spoiler alert. I'm sorry if you people haven't heard this before. I know it's not like anyone's been talking about it or anything, but anyway, yeah. No, this has been blowing up all over the place. It's Facebook and Twitter and all over YouTube, and a lot of people have been making videos and sharing their thoughts and opinions. It's just been all over. And I've been watching some videos upstairs. I've been catching up on all the videos I missed while the power was out. And I've been watching those, so I was like, I couldn't hold it in any longer. I have to get my video out. Figured very appropriately I'd wear my Stormtrooper hoodie. So anyway, so Star Wars being bought by Disney. This brings such a gambit of emotions. There are so many things to think about. What's going to change? What could get better? What could get worse? What will stay the same? Really, the answers to those, there are no answers to those, really. Right now, it's so early. There's so much things. Everyone is putting their opinion in. There's really no way of knowing right now. I know a lot of people are some people are worried. It's Disney, and they're gonna dumb it down. They're gonna make it too kid friendly, and I don't think that's the case. I'm very excited. I'm a little worried, a little apprehensive because I don't know, because you never know, what could happen between now and 2015. Because of course that was the other big announcement, that we will be getting new movies. We'll be getting episodes 7, 8, and 9, and then after that is done, they want another Star Wars movie every 2 to 3 years. Which, I don't know, I think 3 years is better. 2 is a little too tight. 3 years is good. There's so many things. There's so many stories and sources that you could pull from. The one thing that I think it puts some people at ease is, think about this. A few years ago, they bought Marvel. And look at what they've done with that. We got some great movies. Thor and Captain America, and of course the Avengers, which was just an amazing film. So I think they did it with that. I think Disney can do it with Lucasfilm as well, and with Star Wars as well. Obviously, I've never been to Disneyland or Disney World, but I know that there's the theme parks, there's the Star Tours ride, and there have been Star Wars, Disney crossover merchandise done before. Now there'll be even more, I'm sure. It'll be interesting to see. One of my local malls I go to a lot, they have a Disney store. It'll be interesting to see. They have Marvel stuff. It'll be interesting to see over the next year or so, a couple of years. I'm sure they'll start getting Star Wars items in. But yeah, I have some good confidence in Disney. Disney does a lot more than just the Pixar stuff and the animated stuff, which honestly I love the animated stuff. It's Disney. I love Cars and Toy Story and all that stuff, but there's so many stories. There have been the novels and the video games and the comic books, and there's been things set in between movies. There's been things set after the movies. There have been things set decades and centuries before the movies. So there's all sorts of sources that they can pull from. One thing that I saw recently that they say that this will be like an original story, whatever episode 7 is, and subsequently 8 and 9, that it'll be sort of an original story that they may not pull from the EU universe, which hopefully, I think that's a little bit of a mistake to not do that. You don't want it to be completely original, or you don't want it to not be, to not use that EU universe. I think would be a mistake. So hopefully, but again, a lot can change over the next couple of years. A lot of people will cite the Admiral Thrawn trilogy, which I have read, and it's a great. I have a lot of Star Wars books. Those I haven't read them all, but those I have read, and it's a great 3 books. And for years, fans have said that those would make great movies, and I think they really would. There's some great storylines. There's all sorts of stuff that you could do. But those books would make a great 7, 8, and 9. I don't think they will take those and just do straight adaptations. That's probably not what they're going to do, from what I've heard. It'd be great, even if, let's say, you do an original story, but pull from those books and comics and video games. There's so many great characters like Mara Jade that has come out of the EU. It'd be great to see her in, a physical form. We've seen her action figures and comic books and whatnot. It'd be great to see an actual actress chosen to play Mara Jade. That would be some casting call. Maybe if they wanted to incorporate the Force Unleashed game in there somehow, with Starkiller is obviously a great character. But I don't know. One thing I've always thought of, a lot of the books, there have been comic book adaptations. And I thought, what if they did like straight to video, like animated, or even in theaters, do animated versions of those comic book adaptations. Look at what Marvel and DC have been doing over the years with all these great storylines and making animated movies based on those comic books. They could do the same thing. For instance, Shadows of the Empire is a great story set between it's after Empire but before Jedi, and you can get Carrie Fisher and Mark Hamill to do the voices and some of the other actors. One of the hardest people to get would be Harrison Ford. With that particular story, you wouldn't need Harrison Ford because there's no Han Solo, because Han's frozen in carbonite. That's the other thing. Would the main principal actors come back? Would Carrie Fisher come back? Would Harrison Ford want to come back? Would Mark Hamill want to come back? I think Mark Hamill is probably the most likely of those 3. He would probably do it the most. That's the character, that's the character I would want to see the most. Even if it's just a small role, if you focus more on some newer characters. But I would love to see Luke Skywalker again on the big screen. I think that would be great. I saw an article recently that Harrison Ford did say he would think about coming back as Han Solo. I don't know. I know he has an interest in doing another Indiana Jones movie, and that's supposed to be still coming out, which, of course, that would be part of the deal as well. It's everything Lucasfilm. So it's the comics, it's the video games, being LucasArts. It's not just Star Wars, it's Lucasfilm. So Indiana Jones would be part of that as well. I would love to see it. Anyone that's read any of the books knows there are a lot of things that have happened to Luke and Han and Leia since Return of the Jedi. Leia and Han have gotten married and have kids. Luke eventually marries Mara Jade and they had a kid. You have Luke reforming the Jedi. There's the whole Yuzhan Vong, like alien invasion, that whole storyline. As the whole thing with Jason and Jaina Solo, Han and Leia's kids. They all become Jedi. Luke's kid becomes a Jedi, and Jason turns to the dark side at one point, and there's this whole thing. So there's so many things. Like I said, The Force Unleashed opens up some things. The comic books. Where the movies, there's many, many possibilities of where these movies could go. And after 7, 8, and 9, what happens after then? Who knows? There's just tons. But it's new Star Wars. It's new Star Wars movies. I remember I went to a midnight screening of Episode 3. And I loved it. It was very exciting. It's easily the best of the prequel trilogy. But I remember going into that and loving it and being very excited, but then also thinking to myself, I may never be as excited for a new movie ever again. As much as a Batman fan I am, I was very excited for the Avengers. I was very, very excited for the Nolan Batman movies, but not quite as excited as I was for Episode 3. And, I think a lot of fans probably think, well, that's it. There'll never be another live-action Star Wars movie. We've had the Clone Wars, and that's been great. And, but, the possibility of new live-action movies just didn't enter. I think Star Wars would never die because you constantly have new people being introduced to it every year, and new generations forming every year, and adults introducing their kids and whatnot, and grandkids and whatever to these films. So I think Star Wars would never go away. But this is just the idea of more Star Wars movies is amazing. I'm very, very excited for that. I think it's it's fun. It's going to be fun to speculate on where these things will go, what will happen. We'll get more merchandise, of course. There'll be new action figures, not just making figures from the old movies or the Clone Wars, but we'll have new action figures of new characters. And, like I said, I would love to see Mara Jade and done. I would love to see them, Jason and Jaina Solo, Anakin, was it Ben Skywalker? Yeah. And I think Anakin Solo, I forget, I might have those mixed up, but those kids, the reforming of the Jedi, I think that would be a great idea. There was another set of books that focused on that, and that could make a good trilogy. Again, even if you don't follow the books, like entirely, if you at least pull from the books and the comics and video games, that would be great. And use those ideas and make a story. But again, it's just speculation. But in general, I think it's a great and exciting announcement. It's going to be a great time to see what comes. And also, this isn't just George Lucas like, oh, I got $4 billion now. He's giving that money to charity. So it's not like, well, okay, you go off and you make your Star Wars movies. I got $4 billion. He doesn't need the $4 billion. The $4 billion is going to charity. At least some of it. I think some was cash. I think some was like Disney stock options, I heard, or something like that. But so he's going to have some input, on what's going on. It's, but it's not like Disney doing the movies. It's still Lucasfilm, but it's Disney owning the rights. It's, I think it's exciting. I think the good things will outweigh any bad things that happen. I don't know. So, there's so much I could talk, but I could sit here and talk forever. But I don't want to just ramble on and on and on. But I would love to hear your thoughts and your feedback. I know some of you have made videos already. Please comment down below. I would love to know what you guys think. And until then, may the Force be with you.